Hello, welcome, Cabbage here. Let's have a look at Devadatta, the newest light impossible mission. And gimmicks here are gravity barriers and damage walls. And then the lily guys that we see up there, they also act as anti-pierce guys, so we want to bring all bounce guys. There's lots of chances to pinch here. And so we'll do that first. We'll take out these two pairs of the magicians, and then that will open up the way for us towards these lilies. So we'll get up there with Fudo Mule, and yes, the HP of the lily is linked to the guy that became invisible down there, or intangible rather. So that's how we do damage to him, is through the lilies. And then same thing here with the Devadatta mini-boss. The first turn we can actually do damage to him, because his first turn he will turn intangible. But after that we can only do damage to him through the lilies. And then yes, we want to pinch in between the wall and then the lily, and then kind of the more shallow angle that we get, the more damage we can put into the lily, and so the more damage we can do to Devadatta. It is possible to get rid of the lily through 45-degree angles, but we're not going to get a lot of concentrated damage in there, so that means less damage to Devadatta. And then one of two things can happen. We can take down all of the lilies, and then if we've done enough damage to get rid of Devadatta's life bar, that'll be the end of that stage. But if we take down all of the lilies and then Devadatta still has HP, he will appear in a solid form, and then we will attack him directly. But especially when we get to the boss sequence, we want to do all of the damage through the lilies, if we can. We don't want to deal with his solid form. To talk about the team that I'm using, first I'm using Tokugawa Tsunayoshi, and she is a new super extreme monster. She is Dark Element, with no gravity barrier, no damage wall, and she's a bounce, of course. She has a meteor strike shot, which can be helpful for stages like this, where yeah, it could be good to clear the field. It won't do great damage on the lilies, however. Next up I'm using Arthur, another bounce with no gravity barrier, no damage wall. And she's especially good here because she has no gauge. The magicians, if we leave them out too long, they will hit us with a kind of an irregular gauge status effect, which makes the gauge very fast and so very difficult to hit. But you don't have to worry about that with Arthur. And she also has a laser strike shot, which can do decent damage, especially on the boss. But the boss has so much hit points that, yeah, it should only be used if the boss is near being taken down anyway. Okay, so here, like I said before, the first turn it is possible to do damage to Devadatta, so I did a little bit of that with Tsunayoshi. Okay, same thing as before. We will go after the lilies and do damage to them. Here we want to do damage to the lilies without the protect barriers first, because we can pinch in between the protect barrier and the weak point. And then with the other one, with the other lilies, with the protect barrier around it, we can pinch in between the wall and the weak point. So that's the order that we want to go in. And then we see a big light demon up there, and then he does not have an ultimate attack. He just moves back and forth and does damage to us. As long as our HP is high enough, we can just leave him out and then focus on going after the lilies. Okay, so first we'll get rid of the lily next to the other lily, and then we'll go after the one next to the wall. Okay, so we took down all of the lilies, but Devadatta still has a little bit of HP left, so he will appear the next turn, and then we can damage him with direct attacks. Okay, good. Next character I'm using is Fudo Mule, and he's one of the best characters for this mission. He's also Dark Element, Bounce, Null, Gravity Barrier, Null Damage Wall. Very high attack, so he can do a lot of damage to the lilies in particular. And then finally my friend is a Genghis Khan. He is the limited wood monster. Also Bounce, Null Gravity Barrier, Null Damage Wall. And then a Command Strike Shot, which can be good to get your guys moving and do damage to lots of lilies. And yeah, that is my team. Okay, first boss stage, same deal as before. We want to hit the lilies and do as much damage to them as possible. And then we also see these wolf guys. If we don't have a good shot on a lily, it can be worthwhile getting rid of the wolves. I believe they will hit us with attack down. And then it is very possible to get through this mission with bounce characters with just Null Damage Wall or just Null Gravity Barrier. And that can be worthwhile if they have like Slayers, but they'll be less mobile, of course. The Null Damage Wall characters will be very slowed down, of course. And then the Null Gravity Barrier characters have the risk of taking damage. So if you wanted to be safe, you could just bring all characters with both Null Gravity Barrier and Null Damage Wall. Okay, so as we can see, the intangible Devadatta, he has an ultimate attack coming up in 3 turns. So we definitely want to get rid of all of the lilies before then. And then looking at my turn order, I see that Fudo Mule maybe has a good shot on the lily up there, so we'll go after the lily down there. But somehow we got rid of them both. So then, with all of the lilies gone, Devadatta will appear. And then we have 3 turns again to take him down, or else he hits us with an ultimate attack. And then the way we take him down is pretty similar to floor 28 of the Tower of Champions, where we can pinch in between the wall and the boss. Or if we're very well lined up with the weak point, we can go after that. But you're generally going to do more damage pinching in between the wall and the boss. Okay, so there we used a Genghis Khan Strike Shot. And that one's nice because it charges up in 12 turns, the first tier. So we can use that fairly often. Okay, and then with a Tsunayoshi, let's pinch in between the wall there. Great. Yeah, but one of the most difficult things about this quest is getting rid of Devadatta in 3 turns before his ultimate attack comes out. Yeah, you gotta be really good with your pinch shots there. Okay, second boss stage. Let's get rid of the wizards first. They might hit us with the irregular gauge status effect. But there I saw a good chance to get Fudo Mule into position, so I did that. And then hopefully this turn I can get rid of the wizard. And then it is possible to pinch in between the wizard and then the protect barrier, so we did that there. Alright, let's see what kind of damage we can do with Tsunayoshi here. Okay, that's pretty good. But yeah, can't really compare to Fudo Mule. Okay, well, whatever. So let's see how much damage we do with a Fudo Mule here. Okay, maybe a quarter of the HP bar there, pretty good. And then let's try to get rid of the lily here. 2 turns left until the ultimate attack comes out, so... Okay, great. Not a lot of damage to the boss, but we got so much damage from Fudo Mule's attack that we shouldn't have too bad of a time with this one. Okay, so here the boss is on the lower right, so we can pinch either to the right or the bottom. Thankfully we had the weak point there, and then we had Tsunayoshi already in there, so we were able to take him out. Okay, third boss stage. And then here, the positioning of the lilies kind of acts the same way as it did the other pre-boss stage. So we want to get rid of the lily where it has the weak point facing the other lily first. And then we'll get the one with the weak point facing the wall next. Yeah, didn't really have a shot there. But we should have a good shot with Genghis Khan, so... Okay, pretty good. Pretty good damage, too. Okay, with a Tsunayoshi I could go either way, actually, but I think Arthur has a better shot on the left one next turn, so let's do the top one here. And then Arthur will also pick up the sword here, so maybe that will be even more damage to Devadatta. And... okay. Didn't quite take down the boss, but we can certainly manage. Okay, Devadatta moved to the upper left, so we can pinch either on the left or the top of him. And then there's a new lily that comes out, so we could go after the lily to do lots of damage there. Or, if in this case I could, make it just hitting Devadatta directly, then we can do that too. Okay, last stage. So there's only 2 lilies, which means the boss might end up with a lot of HP after we take down the lilies. And then there's a bunch of other guys around, so we're going to be a little bit busy on this stage. But again, first turn, it is possible to do damage on the boss, so we'll do that there. And then I knew that Tsunayoshi's turn was coming up next. She has the meteor strike shot. So let's use that, see if she can clear the field. No, somehow I missed the magicians completely, but we got rid of the big demon and the protect field, so that's okay. And then with Arthur here, I see a good shot to the right, so let's pinch into that wizard. And the other wizard will hit Genghis Khan with the gauge irregularity status effect. So let's see how fast that gauge is. Yeah, I'm checking there to see what is on the gauge, either null gravity barrier or null damage wall. It's a null damage wall, so I want to be careful about hitting that. Yes, that is a very fast gauge. Alright, so we hit the damage wall once, but not the end of the world. And then let's go back to doing damage to the lilies. So here we can pick up the sword again. That's decent damage. And then Arthur's in pretty bad position to go after the lily down there, so... maybe... yeah, let's see if we can get just a miracle shot. Oh, we got the miracle shot. Okay. So all the lilies gone. Devadatta will become tangible. He will come down, and then a copy of him will come out. And then, yeah, both copies will take the same amount of damage into that same life bar. So it works like the last stage of Tsukuyomi. But it's easier to pinch underneath the bottom Devadatta. So I would recommend going after the bottom Devadatta. Okay, next turn Akala, or Fudo Mule will have a good shot on the bottom Devadatta, but there's only 2 turns left until the ultimate attack, so we gotta make something happen soon. Alright, let's see if we can just get everybody moving with Genghis Khan strike shot. See if somebody pinches underneath the bottom Devadatta. Not quite, but decent damage. Okay, last turn before the ultimate attack. Let's see what we can make happen with Tsunayoshi here. And we got the pinch. Okay. Alright, so that was Devadatta. A very technical mission. It really tests your player skill, or PS as they call it in Japan. But yeah, a fun stage, I would say, but can be frustrating if you can't get those shots. And yeah, Devadatta as a character, he's pretty interesting. He is a Pierce with a Null Warp and Minesweeper, so he shares that with Tsukuyomi. But he's much more of an attacker and a damage source, whereas Tsukuyomi is more kind of a support character. And yeah, hope you have good luck with that quest, and we'll see you again. Take care.